Hey everyone, welcome to Rambles and Recaps. My name is Mimix, and I'm joined today by my editor, Lord Squishy.
Hey,
This week we're talking about Invincible Season 3, and this is totally the first time we've done this today. Oh god, guys,
yep.
yeah, it's great. 10 out of 10. Definitely not the second take. Totally didn't forget to record the first time. Didn't get through the entire episode or anything. So let's just go ahead and jump in to first thoughts and background. So I'm sorry, I can't help it. It's stupid. I totally flubbed the recording last time, guys. So right off the back with my first thoughts and takes. I need to say the season was amazing. There were a lot of great moments in this season. As a superhero fan, this show feels like such a love letter to the medium. And I can't help but feel like it truly helped a shit ton that we watched both seasons before season 3, right before. It really helped me understand what was going on. It gave me like some subtle nods to what might be happening this season. There's a lot to look forward to. But I know that Squishy, you actually have read the comics. What are your thoughts? Any big changes, and what did you think?
Not only have I read the comics, I'm an OG reader.
Uh-huh.
I was reading it like halfway through as it was like coming out. So like I had a lot like writing on this, and it is. I recommended it to people for years, just for the show to be announced after season one to come out, and then people started to tell me about it. Hey, there's this great show. It's called Invincible. You should read the comic book. Like, really? I should read the comic book.
Yeah, you should read the
Very
comic book. Yeah, totally. Just you though. Just
Oh yeah,
you.
like it has been like one of the best like indie runs, if you could call Image indie, but like it's
Image
just
started as
I
just
think
indie books. Let's be real. That's their
yeah,
start.
it's a like it's this weird thing to like recommend to people because it's because Invincible plays off of like superhero tropes and like long running superhero comic tropes so much that like it's you like if you've been reading if you've been reading DC or Marvel for years, like you get way more out of this because it's a direct commentary of the like tropes. And at first Kirkman's like, I just want to make fun of these tropes. I'm Robert Kirkman. I like stupid, edgy stuff. And then he's like, wait a minute, his superheroes are fun.
Well, I mean, it's all about, he was all about deconstructing the tropes because he hated them so much and he thought they were all stupid. And by doing so, he ended up falling in love with certain pieces and reconstructing everything around it, right?
Yep. It's and it's crazy to see it in action. This season is the beginning of, I think, when Kirkman really started to try for the first time, and not just not just deconstruct.
To give credit to like the Invincible like show writers and runners, they did get rid of a lot of the Kirkman cynicism apparently from seasons 1 and 2,
Yes.
right? Like
Yes.
it's very clear to me that right off the bat we're getting something that has you said like what, like 10 years of hindsight.
Yep.
10 years of hindsight to like fix up and clean problems. Like that's insane. It's kind of like how you talk about One Piece, which I know nothing about the anime, but the live action is good, guys.
Yes. To everyone's surprise ever.
I think it just shows that when you have an older property, we should give it more time. Just anything in general, not just older properties. Give things more time to be adapted later so that things can actually be improved upon and things can be done for it that feel original but still work. I think that's been like my biggest problem with a lot of adaptions or remakes lately has been things don't sit for 5 years anymore. They get remade almost immediately and it's like shot for shot. There's nothing new to add. With Invincible, it seems like there was a ton of new things being added here. Um, I have to also after my first. Oh, you go.
No. Like, and it's about like removals too. Because like, and the comic is full of just like weird side plots or like weird like editor required stuff, right? So there's a lot of like both sides. It's not just like a smart like it's not just smart additions. It's also like smart removal.
Fair enough. I will say something I've loved from Invincible as like another just like first thoughts is all the side plots that happen when Mark doesn't realize they are, like the pharaoh in the tomb. That has been like a recurring side plot for 3 seasons, and each time a new layer gets added to it that I find hilarious, and I need to see where it goes for season 4.
Exactly. I'd love to have an inkling of that. In the comic, it was like many of those, and sadly it doesn't have my favorite one, which is like you. And you remember the trash bag, that he like threw?
Yes, the trash bag in space. Are there like panels later on that just follow the trash bag?
So no, but like it lands in like England, right? And these like people like and like have no understanding of like why it's there, and so it's like everything that is thrown by a hero up in the air usually marks stuff, and they end up in that like England spot, and so it forms like a small cult.
Okay, but like, is Mark purposely just trashing England? Now that's like a conspiracy theory. Does Mark hate England? Might be something for people to investigate in world. Just saying. But we got to move on from first thoughts because we could spend hours just talking about what we were expecting going into it. And honestly, I was just expecting hype, and I got hype. We got to go into the overall thoughts for this season, our favorite episodes, what we were thinking, and I got to start mine off real strong. Debbie, you didn't get injured really. You were fine. You were okay. And you are raising your boys, which 10 out of 10, she's doing the best job she can with 2 Viltrumite sons, one of which isn't even her birth son, and she's doing an amazing job. Like, gotta love it. Seriously. And also, her dynamic with Mark. Mark and Debbie are doing amazing. And Mark and Oliver, like the way we're seeing this brotherhood form. Because Mark has been an only child for like 18 years. To get a little brother all of a sudden has to be so strange.
Oh, yeah. And you have superpowers on top of this.
Yeah, superpowers. And he was raised to kind of believe that those powers were different because he has a really good memory. Mark and Eve, I love the relationship. I love how it is working. But I told you this before. I do not like the rough start / the rush job I felt was going on in that relationship. Because
no, that's fair.
It felt like people, they really were just like, we wanted to set this up early on in this series so that we don't have to do it for the rest of the time. I get it. You want to move the relationship forward. Everyone's expecting it. So you push the envelope. But in doing so, it feels forced and not my type of cup of tea. And I would like to hear your thoughts on this. Because again, it's very different in the comics of who is around Mark and what his friendships are like.
I do think that, like, and this forcedness is the result of, because in the comic, Mark leaves Amber pretty early on, and they don't have this tragic, like, realization of, like, I can't be in your world, and she gets threatened by like an instant like that. Like, that really happens. What happens is just they at the very part, it's college.
It's college, high school. Things have to change.
Yeah, it's far more like casual, real tone. In the comic for the first few arcs. But the thing and the reason it had to do this was because of Amber's new like arcs and stuff. So
yeah.
because in the comic, because in the comic, Mark and Eve are always like very close, like, and they confide in each other and stuff, and they're basically friends, since they meet, like in high school.
And
so they had to shift that. Also, I'm just gonna say, like, I have had that situation before, where like a friend group sees two people be like very close, and they go, just date already, man. Like, come on.
That's very different, because that's like a friend group like together basically saying that shit. Will and Rex do not interact at all, and both of them basically say the same shit. Like, I need to point this out. It's not like Mark has one cohesive friend group. Mark is a floater. He goes from friend to friend. It's fine. But you know what's very clear here? They used his friends to basically just be like, just go ahead and date. The fans want it. And that's okay. Just acknowledge it. And they even do. They even say, it just makes sense. And Eve's like, it just makes sense. And the only thing that makes me feel like at all like I'm reading a superhero comic, because I use them as like my soap operas, is that like he immediately fucks it up by bringing up middle-aged adult Eve, who, girl, you really did not move on after like possibly 30, 20 years. I get that he was a guy you liked and you had feelings for and you didn't get closure, but girl, you are a superhero. You are an icon, and you're just gonna sit there and wait and think about it with a weird new bob? Come on, get out there.
Would you have rather him never mention it, or mention it now, and to like?
I think he should have led with it. I think he should have led with it instead of accidentally flubbing it out. That's how I would personally have done it. I think that's the only way to do it, and because they would be like, hey, look, I've been having some thoughts about you for a while, but I met this alternate version of you from a different future who saved me from the desolate wasteland. And she said that she had feelings for me, and that since I'm coming back, I should tell you what they are, if I have them or not. And I think that conversation would have gone a lot better, because you're addressing the problem as the solution. Come on, see where the money is, people. Mark, you're such a himbo, you can't help it. I know.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he's not that mature enough.
He's not that mature. He doesn't know what geography is. He probably can't do 2 + 18. But it's fine. Like, that's like my other thought with it. And then I have to go to the Guardians of the Globe. Specifically, the Guardians of the Globe that we liked. The new team with Rex, Ray, Bulletproof, Monster Girl, and Rudy, aka Robot.
Yeah.
I'm saying that this is the team we like because this is the one that we spend the most time with and develop with. And my God,
there's change and growth there.
There's change and there's growth. There's oxygen to show that we care. And they're helping Mark, and they really do stand up to Cecil, who I will get to. And I really liked the relationship dynamics between Ray and Rex and Monster Girl and Rudy, aka Amanda and Rudy. I'll use her real name for when I'm describing them. They are so good and well done that you'd think that they were the main show with how they carry through the seasons, but they're not. They are these side plots that make you care about the world, not just Mark, not just Eve, the world. And I will get to my favorite moments later. I just need you all to know that the way they have written Ray in this show is 10 times better than whatever the fuck that joke character was she was based on. I looked it up. He was only like 2 comics, and then he dies. She is stealing the show.
And he's just there to make fun of Ant-Man, really.
And I can appreciate a good superhero joke at Ant-Man. It's like a good superhero joke at Aquaman. They're needed. No, I think like Guardians of the Globe, the ones we like, 10 out of 10. They did great. The other ones, they're floundering. They're not on Mark's side, but they're not opposition. So they're kind of just jokes. Does that make sense? Like, they feel like the punching bag.
I definitely think, yeah, like in the comic they are like definitely like sidelined a lot. But like even just the like a community reaction to the new Guardians is hysterical. I'm seeing people like, and I'm seeing people call him mortal, very mortal, and shit like that.
I love it. Like, honestly, some of them need to be knocked down a peg or two. But at the same time, like, it kind of falls on the writers to make us believe why they're there, you know? This world was filled to the brim with superheroes, and these were supposed to be the best of the best. Why aren't we seeing that? And one thing before I get to like any fights or anything, I want to know about your thoughts on the season overall, Squishy.
I think it was the best this season yet, really.
Really?
I think with the progression of the writing and plots, because with cut to season 1, it was very by the bones. They paced season 1 perfectly.
Okay.
But it was also like, hey, we don't know if we're getting canceled, right?
That's the life of a streaming show.
And then like season 2, it's like, okay, we are building stuff, but not a lot happened in season 2 because it was build up for stuff like this, for the start of the Viltrumite War.
Honestly, it's not even just for Viltrumite War. There were other background characters that were at the end sequence for season 2 that didn't even show up in season 3. They're showing up in season 4.
Yep. It is great. It's like it feels like a comic book world now, right? Like there's so many plots and people and just all types.
I honestly wish there was another show for this to feel like a real comic book situation where like I had to pick up 2 different issues.
Yes.
But speaking of the Invincible War and the Viltrumites, I gotta give a big shout out to my favorite new character, Gay Mark. Gay Mark is a maskless mark that says, "I miss William," and the fandom ignited. Half of the people were like, why can't a guy just miss his best friend? What's gay about that? And the rest was like, the storyboard artist, yeah, no, we made him gay. We thought, why not? It's a multiverse. There's definitely at least one gay one. And I love it. It's great. It fed me for like a solid week. But I will also say, there's one other thing that the fandom is split on that I'm very certain on. And that's Cecil's fucking self-righteous, privileged, woe is me ass. Because I need everyone to be very clear on this. Cecil is in the wrong, and there's no way to say he is in the right. He is, especially with his flashback. Let's just focus on his flashbacks right now. Cecil's flashback is him doing a job, and he does his job. He prevents a shit ton of deaths. He turns thousands of deaths down to just double digits, right? But it's still deaths. I get where that hurts him, right? I do not understand, one, why after it's over, after he has gotten a procedure done to give him back his skin, he looks to his boss, who says they missed this by, and said, I wanted this to remember it by. It was my only skin. That was mine. I get wanting to keep your skin, motherfucker. But they performed an operation, synthetic artificial skin that feels and looks like real skin for you to feel and look normal. They use taxpayer money to do this because you work for the government. And you reject it because you want there to be a lesson for you to remember. Bitch, you will always remember it. You saw people lose their flesh, and you can only imagine the agony those other people faced. Hell, they only said people died. They didn't mention the people who probably lost their skin and had to get terrible, awful skin grafts from normal hospital and interesting specialists that didn't have the privilege you have for the money. This isn't just an isolated incident. Throughout the entire show, Cecil is waving around the privilege he has, the power he has, and he's acting like he is the only person trying. The only person who makes any sacrifice. When we have Debbie, who is literally pouring her heart and soul out about her children, how she feels like if she just never made the choice to marry Nolan, they wouldn't have these hard lives because they wouldn't have to have been born and had to suffer. And you're going to tell that woman that not every person is lucky enough to have superhero sons. The woman who takes hits for her children, who could easily take those hits themselves. It shows a level of privilege and woe is me to do all of that. I don't care that you work for the government. I don't care that you are at a high level of authority and you think you're the only one who matters. Because you don't actually think that you think that. You think it's like, oh no, I'm doing what's right. No, you think you're the only one who matters. That's what's going on here. That's his whole speech to Mark. You stood up to me, so now you could be the leader of this team. That's a manipulation tactic, bitch. Oh, I'm still so mad about that. I made Squishy pause so many times while we were watching it. And like Squishy will say, it was just 2 times. I never asked to pause unless it's to get up to get more snacks or if it's a rant. And I paused twice on this motherfucker's ass. It was, I hate him more than I hate some of the villains in this show, and that's saying something. But I will keep it there because I think I've gone for like at least 7 minutes of talking about how much I hate Cecil. Oh God, that was a lot. No, I've talked to you a little bit about it because obviously I've ranted to you like at least 4 times at this point about him. What are your thoughts on Cecil as someone who knows him way better than the rest of the audience because you've read the comics?
I think that this is much. I don't know. He's actually pretty like 1 for 1. Actually,
really,
it's not much like changed with that.
Really,
I think he is a great example of the government overseer like the character. You know, like the Wallers. You like Nick Fury's, like, you know.
I can see
but
it.
He is given a lot more screen time. He's pretty much Earth's main like organizer, right? And so he has a lot of screen time. But I do appreciate that he's not too powerful. Like he has a lot of backup, right? But at the end of the day, he is organizing heroes. He's not commanding them. You know,
he's not Amanda Waller.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know, except for one, like
where he puts a bomb in Mark's head to just go off at any time he wants. Yeah, no, that was very much modern day Amanda Waller type of bullshit right there. And I don't see people hitting him hard enough online enough about that the way they do with her. So, like, maybe check yourselves, guys. Some people are thinking that he's right.
It's something like debate because I see, like, for the first half of the season, people were debating who is right, and it's fascinating that, you know, I think most people accepted that how Cecil did it was, it was really bad. But everyone that was for Cecil argued his means, you know, the ends justify the means type of thing,
which I think is bullshit.
But I like that there is that kind of debate because there would be that kind of debate in the universe too, you know, like we don't know how things will like go.
I think
especially
you made a great
in a world. Yeah,
I was saying that you made a great argument about how people view competence versus incompetence in media like this, where because Cecil is more knowledgeable and because he appears to have a lot more competence than Mark, people are going to side with him for that very reason.
Yes. I like I got that from like Brandon Sanderson. Like it's like annoyance and like competence are like inversely related, and so like and the more that a character has one of those, the less that they have of the other, which is a fascinating thing of like perception, not really like
not
actual,
truth,
like,
but like perception.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
And I think that's very important when we're talking about characters like Cecil, who's all about working in the shadows. He's not taking credit, he's doing. But no, I have to say that, like, no matter your thoughts, I welcome discourse, I welcome discussion when it comes to media. I will just let you know that I'm right about Cecil being a woe ass bitch, and nothing will change that. Like, you can make arguments that, like, the ends justify the means. I'm happy to hear those. Hell, the path to hell is paved with good intentions, and he's going there. I know that much. Maybe Detective Devil will greet him. But we gotta get into the fights, because this show's all about them. And we start off really strong with Doc Seismic. My God, I called that he was doing something in his fucking jail cell. No one listened to me. Not the people on the screen. They didn't listen to me at all. Like, I was screaming it at them.
And they didn't put his cell on the ground for some reason. Sorry, and they did like put his cell on the ground for some reason. Like, what the hell?
Put him in the air, suspended. He can control things. Stop it. So, like, that was like the first thing, is like, they made him a legitimate threat, and they say things change, which is very much an Invincible thing. The status quo changes. I will say it was a great way of using him and his new puppets and toys to reveal what Cecil was doing in the background and make Mark go ballistic and cause friction between him and Mark. But I will say, Eve faints a lot in this show, and I need to equate that to Jean Grey fading in X-Men. And I feel like there's something strange about these mental-powered redheads always fainting after trying to do something. Just letting you guys know, it's a little strange. I'm on to you. Extreme power. They also always go insane, so watch out, Eve. You're next. I will also mention that, like, Dr. Seisman's threat level felt nice to see go up, because he's been such a joke for so long that, like, it's kind of cool that he actually does something.
Yes, it does.
Then we had, like, the Maulers fight, which I thought was hilarious until Oliver killed them. And I kind of like the Maulers. I think they're my favorite, like, subgroup of little murderers in this show. Kind of sad they're gone. Maybe they'll bring some, like, variants of them back.
The great thing that I like about them is that they're not really killers. They're very focused on, like, money or, like, other stuff. It's like, like, we're gonna hold the hostage. We're not gonna use the nukes. That's crazy.
Okay. Let me reframe it. They aren't killers. I call them little murderers because that's what basically everyone on the show is. They are.
And they still kill. Yeah, like,
they don't do personal crime. They very much are like, we do big things. If we come across somebody on the street, we're like, get out of here. And then they go and do their shit. But, like, because, like, they even make sure it's like, it's just a little kid. We'll knock him unconscious. And then, like, we're going to kill him because he actually hits them really hard. So it's kind of interesting to see them get taken off the board, because I don't know where to go from here. Because, like, they're just, like, they're so fun. And then, like, we have Powerplex, which I think I described as every fanboy's jerk-off dream. Like, this feels like they put all the fanboys into one blender, and they hit mix. And this is what we got. And by fanboys, I mean the toxic ones. Like, the ones who are like, my favorite character's not doing what I want, so I'm gonna kill him.
Ah, I see, yes.
Yeah, like he's absolutely crazy, absolutely insane. But I love that, like, his power is the anti of Invincibles. Like, he has to get punched to use his powers, and it just makes him stronger. Invincible's all about punching. Like, he doesn't have any other ability. He just punches. So they're evenly matched in, oh, we fuck each other up.
Yeah, and I just love the, like, rewrite, because he was kind of a joke of, like, of the, like, nemesis of Seth's character, like the Joker, and like that, right?
Okay.
It would have an obsession for no, like, and, you know, it's for no real reason. Here, they gave it a really good reason. and they made him so like reasonable. Like he tries to go after Invincible through the law first, but and then like as the lawyer told him, these problems aren't really for like the superheroes. Like the law is not on his side,
And it's interesting that like in this world, the law can't hold them accountable, whereas in other superhero worlds, it's the only thing stopping them from being psychos, like public perception. So like, it's fun to see that happen. But can we just talk about how like insane that like his wife was down bad for him, and like
right, it's crazy.
Like she was like, no, we're gonna go with this. I also lost your sister, which I considered my sister, and my niece. I hate Invincible too. I'm gonna instigate this further. We're killing him, because there are times when he was backing down. Right, he was gonna like try and like back down. He did not. Every time she's just like, listen, remember what you lost, bitch. If I could just like put someone on, she was a devoted woman, like 10 out of 10, absolutely devoted. Good job. I have to say, this is the first real fight that had good budget. I didn't talk much about the dragon fight that Invincible had earlier. That was a really good episode, but it is very much the thing of like, it's Titan's episode more than it's Invincible's. Like Titan is getting Invincible to do his work again, and it's kind of funny. It's working again, even by accident. That episode was really good. I didn't mind the animation cuts there that they did, but you can notice them. This one with Powerplex, you don't notice as much, because they spent money on him. But the last two...
Oh, yeah.
Oof. What were you going to say?
They had all the money. Well, yeah, like... I was going to say, like, and every season, like, it starts with the, like, superhero tropes of, like, they're starting to build Mark's, like, rogues, like, gallery, with, like, with the dragon, Mr. Liu, the, Powerplex, and like Armstrong, as like his like personal villains and stuff.
Yeah.
And then the last two episodes hit.
The last two episodes hit, and the Invincible War is insane. I was not expecting to be on the edge of my seat like I was. Everything about it, guys, they spent so much money on this. Apparently, all the designs for each random multiversal Invincible were prelim designs that Mark used to have before they settled on the ones he currently has.
Yes.
And that's insane to me, because some of them are really fucked up and wacky, and I love it. But it's so interesting to see a character like Engstrom put together a team of villain versions of the main hero and use them to not kill the main hero, but to kill whatever good image he has in this world forever, which he accomplishes, right? Like, he has people with Mark's face and mask and insignias destroy the world and put fear into them. And each Invincible has a different personality and a different backstory that changes how they do it. It's a very beautifully done, horrific episode, and I can't wait to see what happens to the variants of Mark. I hope we get to see like have some like really fun and wacky episodes with them. What about you though? Like, you got into the comic during the Invincible War, right? Like, that was your first issue of this.
Right around the Invincible War, yes. It was one issue. And I do think that the Invincible War, because a lot of people have been waiting on Conquest since since the show was announced. For me, it was the Invincible War, because I place it like fondly in my heart. I will say, because I'm a little biased, I like the pace of the comic better, because it was like chaos. You didn't know what was happening. It felt that fast, right? With here, and let stuff breathe a bit more. Like a Rex is like death, and like he can erase like relationship in like general with the happy ending that would never be like just.
Trust me, and, I feel it.
And it does hit, right? But it's just the pacing was slower, but not slow enough to
You-
really like. I prefer the faster pacing.
So how I would describe the pacing as someone who doesn't know the comic, it's like if someone was punching you and giving you a moment to breathe and accidentally like stepped on your foot. Like it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm not gonna cause you any pain on purpose, but here's like a little bit of wind knocked out of you again. Because like the entire season suffers from only having 8 or 9 episodes to get the job done, and it does it masterfully. But we really need to start talking about why streaming services refuse to do longer forms of entertainment, and it most likely goes down to money. But guys, there's got to be something we can do as people who consume media or make media to get these shows to have at least 12 episodes. Damn it, I need more. And this Invincible War does so much, right? Like in like an hour-long episode, basically, it takes people off the field. It permanently injures some people, and it creates dissonance for the rest of the world about how to perceive Invincible. And while I still think season 2, the episode with Anessa in it, is still the best episode of Invincible, Invincible War takes second place, I think.
No.
Like, I gotta say that much. But you mentioned Conquest, and he's like the last fight of this season.
I was honestly not expecting them to even get the Conquest. I thought that like it would be the like ending stinger of like oh, stand ready for my arrival. But no, like it was the last episode, and they poured all this effort in last episode because he's basically Marx's doomsday. Like
he is.
He makes him like change mentally and physically.
He basically ends up going down the darkest rabbit hole he's ever had to go down, because like he has to willingly kill somebody to make sure that everyone else around him is safe. Like they pour so much money and budget into the animation here, guys. There's like at least like 5 frames I can think of in this episode and last episode that were beautifully done and could have just been full stills I'd put on as like my background on my phone or my PC. They poured money into this, and the writing and how everything goes, it's honestly so beautiful. I mean, who would have thought that Negan and Glenn fanfiction could go this hard?
That is the funniest. If the casting,
if the casting in this show is kind of hilarious for that very reason, but I love what they did with Eve. How they showed. If you didn't watch the Adam Eve special, it gives you a lot of context. You need to go watch it. I'm not going to spoil anything for you here. I'll just say I love how they showcased Eve's power and creativity in a time of great strife and struggle. How she managed to do some shit that Conquest wasn't expecting to have to deal with. And Mark's inspiration was amazing. But my God, this entire season all accumulated into that one point near the end. And I was just like, we can breathe. We can breathe. Like this is like we can rest. Thank God. Everyone I care about, minus like 3 people, are alive. I'm going to be happy that they're alive. Okay, good.
And also just a great way to show how like he couldn't like win alone. You know, he needed help at the end of the day, which is fine. Like, you know, he's not here to win death matches. And he's here to save the world.
I think people need to stop doing this power scaling thing where like people have to be able to stand on their own, because teams exist for the very reason of there is going to be situations and moments where everyone has to work in order to do something right. And I think a lot of us have forgotten the magic of like the X-Men and like animation studio stuff with X-Men Evolution, the original 90s cartoon, Wolverine the X-Men, or Justice League Unlimited, the Batman animated series. Like all of those shows show levels of teamwork that I think a lot of us have forgotten in the modern age of comics, is that like it is required for bigger threats. It doesn't make someone weak to need help. which is a
Yeah,
great lesson anyway. But no, like we've covered the entire season there. I want to talk about favorite characters and final thoughts, and I'll start this out because I have 4 very clear characters that I need to lump together. Monster Girl and Robot, aka Amanda and Rudy. I am so happy that we got a very cathartic moment of Rudy making Monster Girl a fix for her curse. That was beautiful. My God, Rudy and Amanda are endgame. The way that their relationship has flourished under these tumultuous times, and how they care for each other, and how they have these adult conversations with PB and J and look like children. I don't know. And then like Ray and Rex. Those are my other 2. And it's the entire season of Ray finding agency and finding out what she wants, what she thinks Rex wants, and going for it, even if it means feeling abandoned and left alone. She goes for it. And Rex supports her. And you see this growth of both characters finding out what they want and who they are. And like you said, Rex, the perfect happy ending was almost there. But it was never going to work. It was never going to happen because Rex is still a hero. And he tells her on her first day of quitting, where he's helping her move, and he sees the explosion and the Invincible War is starting, that she can't quit. She can't go back immediately on her first day. Finish packing. I'll see you later. Mwah! They kiss. He runs off. He even tells her if he needs help, he'll call her. He sacrifices himself to stop an Invincible. And we see her drive up on the bridge where the team base is in her suit. And Billie Eilish fucking plays. And I just fucking bawl. It's so good. And I hate them for it. But those are like my big moments. I know you had so much fun with the cameos of characters that were coming in.
Oh yes, because I mentioned this back in like season 2. Like, there's a lot of characters that are very important for the plot in the futures. You know, there are heroes that can fight like Viltrumites and stuff. So where the hell are they? Because they're kind of important, and it's because like Robert Kirkman made them with like co-creators, and so like there might
with
be some,
Image Comics, it's a
there.
little bit harder to get co-created characters into spaces together in adaptations. It's a lot harder than we think.
Yeah, like, and the Viltrumite War, right? Like, it was basically a like cameo fest, and like we got like Spawn and like a Savage Dragon and like a Fire Breather, like all Image properties here. You know, I can get why they like hit, and they couldn't get Spawn. You know, sure, but and they got
Wolfman, Best Tiger.
Guy. Yeah, like Wolfman, Best Tiger, and like Tech Jacket.
You love him. You love Tech Jacket. He's your favorite.
I just like that he showed up. Okay, I just like that he showed up.
Yeah, he's like Tech Jacket, the goat. Like, it was so good.
Well, no, that's because he won his 1v1 in space, like, you know, and so it was cool. So yeah, like so. It was just nice to see them here. It's see them finally. I doubt they're gonna get much screen time because because they pay royalties, you know, because they have to.
Which sucks, but like honestly, if I ever have a co-created character with somebody, I'll say like, "Hey, if this gets an adaption, go for it, use it. I don't care. I know there'd be like legal laws I had to follow." But I would just be like, I will cover whatever cost is needed. Because in my brain, guys, I don't care if I make money or not on something I've made. Because I do it for the sake of fucking making it sometimes. And that's why I want to see a completed project. So, I hate the red tape that goes up in adaptions. I really do. But like, besides the cameos, was there like a real big moment for you with a character that you felt so strongly about this season?
Oh yeah. Well, yes, it was definitely Rex's sacrifice.
I hate that they made me love him.
it was an objective it was an objective upgrade because like in the comics we don't get that much of him, right?
We have a special, but that's it.
Yeah, and so and that's mainly his like backstory. Here in the show, with all the context with Ray, it is so much stronger. It's like, oh damn, like he had so much more to fight for and so much more to lose.
No, he had a life to live. That's the thing, right? He had a life, right? Ray was going to be a door open for him, because he even says, like, you know, the government, when they bought me, which the government bought him, they changed his name. The person he was no longer exists. He's only a superhero now. If Ray had lived a life and he got to experience it through her, I can promise you at some point he would have left superheroing. He would have. And they would have had a beautiful life. And now they should give his special and write a whole new one for Ray. That's my thought. You know, Amazon, take it. Come on,
like,
free.
Or have like Rex's special be like meshed into something with Ray, because Ray, like her story from here on, it's totally up in there. We have no idea what's going to happen.
How about we have you know how some shows do like this back and forth thing, like one thing's happening in the past, one thing's happening in the future, and they kind of coincide. Have Rex's special mirror something going on with Ray right then and there. Like literally, you could do something like that where it's just.
Yes, I would love that.
I don't know anything about his special, but like you could do it. They could do it, right? But like,
yeah.
But that's like I think both of our, like, you know, favorite character moments. Any final thoughts and theories about this season?
It was just, I think it was the best. Like, I think it's the best season so far. Really, like.
I think so too. I think it was probably the best season we're gonna get until next season. But one thing I want to say, theory-wise, I think something's gonna happen with Detective Devil, and he's gonna summon a version of Mark, probably the one that's in the Shadowverse. You said that it might be Omni-Man that he probably tries to summon, and then we were like, oh, Battle Beast.
I'm going with the context of, like, you know, because because we're like, and there's one that is like very strong, but not of this world, right? And he left before Omni-Man did all this stuff, so it's like it has to be Omni-Man, right?
That's true. But also, we don't know if he has the ability to see into like this plane. We'll have to find out.
True.
I want a variant special. I want to see what the variants are getting up to in their little desolate world. Maybe they build like a commune or something. All I know is it's gonna be hilarious.
Yes.
Oh my god. But I think that's all from us. I've been your host, Mimics Mayhem, and that's been my editor. Say bye.
Bye. Yeah.
Talk to you guys later. Have a good night. Peace out.